Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Muslim Farmville. Thanks for stopping by. We are having a beautiful day. The last couple of days, it has been cooler. And it is fall here in Wisconsin. I absolutely love fall and spring because a hijabi girl, when I say a hijabi girl, means a girl who wears a scarf. This time of the year is my favorite because it's cooler. I can wear my long sleeve dresses, my scarf, and take a walk. Today I came outside before I did my chores here our little homestead, and I was like, today is a good day to take a nice short walk before I do my chores. And it is beautiful. The leaves are changing and it's cooler, and gratitude, y'all, gratitude, right? The little things that makes us happy, especially a beautiful, cool, colder day. I absolutely love it. So this morning, since I was taking a walk and stuff, checking out what's left in the garden, and we have some squashes, we have some tomatoes left, some herbs and spaghetti squash, and tons of kale still. So I want to take you along with me after I do my chores today. The last couple of years, I have done a couple of different videos where I like to feed my family as cheap as possible. A lot of times when we want to feed our families, it's not only you want to feed them healthily, but it is hard because it's food so expensive. Lately, food has been so expensive. So this morning after I took a walk, fed the dogs and the chickens, let's get some kale. We have tons of kale all over. And I'm thinking about this morning making a smoothie using the kale. And I will do as cheap as possible. So we have leftovers from the freezer, strawberries from our garden, and kale from our garden. And this can I'm using is coconut, organic coconut milk. And that cost me about $1.49 from Trader Joe's. I bought it a while ago. So, and I used, instead of protein powder, I used our homemade bone broth from leftovers bones that we boiled it and had it in the fridge. And it tastes so good, you guys. And I had some leftovers of bananas from the freezer, so I mixed it with strawberries, bananas, kale, bone broth, and milk. So really what cost me money was a few pieces of bananas and the coconut milk. I would say a couple of dollars right there for our breakfast this morning. And now it's time to put together lunch. We have tons of vegetables and eggs as well. So I thought, you know what? Let's go ahead and put together. We will make stir fry today. Quinoa. I'm using quinoa. About 3-4 cups of quinoa. And again, I will go ahead and use my homemade bone broth. I'm so glad. Leftovers of bones that I didn't throw it. And as you can see, tons of spices. So I don't even add my quinoa with spices because my bone broth has spices. So I would say $3. Again, my quinoa. And I'm using here butter ghee. Let's go ahead and use a bunch of vegetables. That's one thing I'm so grateful for, having a garden. These are tomatoes from the garden. I did not even cut it up. Just gonna let it cook onions and tomatoes, and we have tons of zucchini and carrots and peppers. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cook those 2 large cast irons, and there we go. Some salt and pepper. Mix all that up together. So it's gonna be stir fry with the quinoa. And here we go again. I have tons of bone broth full of herbs and spices and good healthy fat. And I'm just gonna go ahead and let that cook down for a while. I just want the carrots and the zucchini to get nice and a little bit soft. And my bone broth again has tons of spices, and here I'm getting dry spices, and there are fresh basil and more quinoa. Let's cut all that up. That's one thing I'm so grateful for, having a garden. If you haven't started having a garden and you don't even have a big space to do it, you can just get even herbs and put it by your window. If you have a small window, your herbs will thrive. So let's go ahead and we added with some garlic, some of the basil, and more kale, as you can see, to expand these 2 dishes. So these 2 dishes are going to be lunch and dinner. My family don't mind eating the same food, 2 meals, right? 2 different meals. So this is where, again, my protein will cost me at least $20 here. I would say we have some beef sausages, and I added into the vegetables. So we were able to cut it up. These bigger squashes, I have a little bit of butter, and just put them a little bit of butter and bake it. The squashes, I'm thinking about using it for dinner tonight. And they were delicious, and they smelled so good. Cheap and healthy way to feed the family. And I'll show you how these spaghetti squashes look like spaghetti after we bake it. Just a little bit of butter to give a flavor, and that's it. The quinoa is done. Let's go ahead and mix it with the vegetable mixture. 1 cast iron skillet will have with the quinoa and the vegetables, mix it all together, and that's what we will have for lunch. Nothing will go to waste here. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and give the videos thumbs up. I wanted to make sure I do this video less than $30 a day to feed the family, because most of our food comes from our garden. I thought of it, maybe I should add some eggs, but I didn't. A friend of mine who's so close to me gave me a cabbage a while ago, and here I made sauerkraut, and that was free for us. So the quinoa, it looks so good and smells good. Let's go ahead and put sauerkraut on top, and that's what lunch is. The quinoa stir fry, vegetable stir fry, delicious. Dinner again was the same mixture without the quinoa, and I'm just gonna go ahead and serve it with spaghetti squash. Check this out. Look, doesn't that look like spaghetti? And I'm just gonna pour on top the meat mixture with the tons of veggies, good fiber, and healthy way to eat and cheap way. I encourage you to start your own garden. I'm gonna serve it with fermented jalapeños and garlic and onions from our garden last year. Yes, last year. And it lasted this long because we made it tons of jars. And it was so good. And I'm just going to go ahead and put a plate together for my little one. Look at these mini squashes. Aren't they cute? They tasted so good. So cut it in half and put the meat mixture. That's what I fed my family. $30 or less today. These were so good. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a beautiful, blessed day. And we still had a little bit of left over, so we will use those tomorrow. Enjoy. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Take care. See you next video.